Hi, my name is Sabina Cartasia, and I was working with Julian on the VR SKOP project. So if you're looking at starting up this project, you will probably be pulling our code either from Bitbucket or downloading the project file from the website. Regardless of which, you're going to want to download Unity version 2.7. This is the recommended version just because Unity does go through a lot of updates and things can break from one update to the next very easily. So if you are going to go ahead and use a newer version or older version of Unity, just make sure that you are aware of what you're going to need to do and update for that to still work consistently. So again, Unity, you can see both on the README that we will include with our code. It's going to be the 2018 2.7. So we'll make sure this link is in the README. So you can just scroll down about halfway through the page and you should see 2.7. You can go ahead and download that for Mac or Windows, whichever you need. And then once it's downloaded, you can go ahead and open it up. Once Unity has opened up, you can go ahead and navigate. So you're just going to do open and navigate to the project folder for VR that we have, or AR if you're doing AR. And I already have it open here. And what you're going to see at first when this loads up is kind of an abstracted view of the project along with some project, so game objects. So Unity works using game objects, and those game objects are linked to scripts. And when you edit the scripts, you edit the way that the objects interact with both the user and the world that they're in, the environment. So we have game objects for a few things, quite a few things. There are close to 20 scripts, but it's pretty easy to find which game objects are linked to which scripts. So once this opens up, we'll go a little into detail with what you'll need. As far as downloads, I think Unity is the only download that you should be worrying about. The rest is just familiarizing yourself with pre-existing components. So this is opening up, which is great. So you're going to see this on the right. This is called your hierarchy. Your hierarchy is kind of, it's your project folder paths, right? So you're in home VR. You should be looking at, let's say, your canvas. There's different things. There's like mini maps and a mini mask. You'll see arrow. So you'll have a lot more context on what these things are and do as we go on. So it'll be pretty cool. So I'm dragging here and you can kind of see that mini map, how it kind of lit up a bit when I started clicking around. You can see it changing. So there's panels for the soil animation, there's a world canvas, the actual animations themselves, soil animation, etc., the different cameras. So there's also there's different tabs that you can go ahead and play around with. So if we go ahead and run this, usually takes a few seconds. Should you guys get any errors, like let's say you downloaded a a newer version of Unity, and then you upload this project, if you start getting a lot of compile errors, it's a kind of incompatibility between the versions. Just go ahead and delete the version of Unity that you have and go ahead and install the right one. So you have two options here. You can go the gamer mode and use your AWSD keys to move side and side, your mouse for your view, or you can use your plain old arrow keys on your right hand side. You can also hold shift while you're moving, and you can see that it's so this is the regular walk, the pace that you're gonna get, and with shift it's accelerated a bit. So if we go back a little bit, you're gonna see that the sun diagram pops up right in front of the building to the left. So if we go ahead and click on this sun diagram, you're gonna get a nice view of the sun. So if you look up top, you're going to see some rays of sunlight shining down. This is on summer around 12 p.m. So we go 5 p.m. You can see that there's a tilt. We go 9 a.m. Again, a different tilt. What it looks like in the fall, winter, spring. And if you want to cruise, you can't use the arrow keys. Please check out the wish list to see why. Rather, you can't click on these arrow keys, but you can use your arrow keys to revolve around and get a quick view of how the sun affects these models. Okay, so if we down on our right click return, you're gonna encounter quite a few of these different animations as you scroll past. feel free to just stick to the path and it'll kind of lead you to the different animations that we have set up. There's some interactions that are not as obvious. Maybe this is something that you guys can work on too. So if you click this wall, it puts up a translucent almost wall. So it's called the transparent component. So you should be able to click on these and get some dimensions on them. If you want to show them back up, you can just unhide. So let's follow this path just to see if there's anything else that perhaps could help you guys. So we go around this nice little outpost. There's a wind diagram. We'll click it really fast, but it's not significantly different from the sun diagram. Different animation, but for the most part, the controls are the same. Things to note is our mini map on the left is accurate and working. So if for whatever reason it's not working for you guys, double check that. And the descriptions change based on the animations. So if we follow through around the building, let's shift, right? So we can move faster. And if we go around back, there's another few animations, but if we just pop up inside of here, it's clicking back, no forward. So if we pop up inside of here, we can go ahead and do something similar to what we did outside, where we can click this wall and see the dimensions again. This one actually does have the dimensions. That's just simply an Excel sheet in the project, so it shouldn't be too bad for you guys to find. You can unhide this. When you do click this build is an animation specifically for it. Yeah, I think that's the majority of the controls and systems. So we're gonna go ahead and stop the play. And actually, let's start it up one more time. So yeah, I mean that's a pretty good view of like how the controls work. You can see all the different panels and stuff. If you go ahead and click on, let's go Windows. Yeah, I think that's the most of what you're gonna need. You can play around with a lot of these settings. So here in general, if it hovers, you have like inspector. Inspectors, if you're looking at like a specific item, we can go ahead and open that up so you can see what it looks like. We should be able to, it's a little slow because it's running the project, but you should be able to pull this in. Let's pull it up there just so you guys can see. And your inspector is really kind of like what it sounds like. It's to inspect different elements that you click on. It looks better vertically, so I'm going to go ahead and put that vertically so you guys can get a view. So your inspector gives you some information on the different game objects, everything from the texture to any animations that they're potentially linked to. And this is a good place to see, like, okay, so there's an image script on this XY object. If we go back to, where was my window? And general, we can also see the project. So your project probably be best suited for down here. I think your editor will automatically open up to something similar to this setup. And here you can get a nice quick view of a bunch of different scripts, different meshes, and yeah, I think that's the bulk of the project. Trying to see if I forgot anything else. I go unhide. And that's it.